list.
You're out of breath. Are you okay? Are you okay? You're out of breath. Oh, goodness. You're all out of breath, honey. Relax. It's okay. I'm right here. I'm right here, honey. Yeah. Hi.
Teaching my daughter KFE made her so enraged she was like, why does anyone increase the strength?
Oh. And front and back made her irritable. This pattern was increasing that way. That's what this pattern does. Hi. Hi. Can I pick you up? Oh, you're such a good girl. Hi. Hi. What's your problem?
I want you lie, I don't like FE.
Yeah. I prefer doing the lifted increase over front and back, but this pattern uses front and back. Yeah, I need to hold your back legs because you like to put nails out, and I'm wearing a hand knit, so nails and hand knit do not mix. Yes, they do not. Oh, gosh, oh, so good. Oh, so good. Aww. It's okay. You're okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going to ad break. Yeah, we're going to ad break. Yeah. Do you need this? Do you need this? Yes, you're going to be slobbering. Yeah.
You're a stepper. Oh, I wonder when my thrift books come.
Yeah. That's right, you got the Imkin box through Thrift Books, didn't you? Yeah. Yeah, okay. We're good, girl? Yeah, she's a good girl. Oh, okay. Hi.
Siri bot.
Oh.
The ad break is finishing now.
I know you don't like that towel under you, but you slobber all over everything. Yes, but you slobber. You're the slobber monster. We have to, I don't want your slobber in my drink. Maybe I should finish it.
Bitter girl. Drop.
2 little swallows left. That was it. You dropped right next to your Plinko on the edge of the pool. Right on the edge. Too bad that doesn't count to get your rubber ducky, huh? Okay, are you done? Can Mama get back to finishing the sticking? This is the only time you will purl, as if you can see with Mia. A Mia in the way. We'll put her in the kitty tower. We'll see if she stays there. We're going to purl a row. malfunction. Oops. Stitch marker kind of grabbed the yarn. Okay. So 2.
Episode 93. How is the emotional support chicken? I could use one.
It's coming along pretty good, Nimi. How are you? This is the Lion Brand Mandala Tweed Stripes yarn that we're using. This is what was left over. So I'm hoping to squeeze a chicken out of it. I don't know. There's a little bit left yet. Hopefully that should be enough to do the underbelly.
Hello, Nematode 93.
Otherwise, right now we're working on the beak. We have the tail, the body, the breast, the head, everything done except for the beak. We're working the beak now.
Only a little bit sick today, but I went to the dentist.
Ooh.
I was really scared, but it was all good. She was very happy with my teeth.
Oh, good.
Nematode 93. Intergerlo.
Excuse me. Don't know what that was about. Okay, instead of turning and purling back, I'm just knitting left-handed. So I grab the stitch, flick the yarn over, and pull it through. It's left-handed knitting.
How are you all?
I'm well. How are you? Okay. Okay, down to 5 stitches. We're gonna cut this off as soon as we locate our scissors.
I don't know how people survived before the invention of ibuprofen.
Just be careful, don't take too much, it'll damage your liver. Just make sure you drink plenty of water with it.
Sunny Stitcher 1989.
Okay.
Started a new sweater last night. It has a couple
Ooh.
of new things in it for me to learn.
Oh, sweet. I love learning new things. I think that's why I have kind of started the weaving realm.
I want tea. I pretty much never take it more than one day at a time.
Oh yeah, good. That's good. There you go. We're gonna pull that closed. Oops. We're still attached to our yarn here. And that's okay for right now. I'm gonna match up the yellow on the bottom. Gonna hold it up here and I'm gonna start seaming the beak closed. Bum, bum. Still a bit to do. This side through that side. I'm gonna poke down in on this side. open her up. And then here on the inside, we'll grab another stitch and make a knot. Should be fine from there. I'm just gonna tuck the rest of this yarn into the beak. Become part of the fiber fill. It's fine. And now I need to decide on eyes. Do we want to go with the green? Or do we want to go with the orangey brown? Or do we want to go with all black? Meanwhile, I'm going to cut a length of yarn here. And go ahead and thread the yarn needle onto there. Oh, my eyeball hurts.
Sunny Stitcher 1989. I like the green.
You like the green?
Knitted girl.
Como la Flora had talked about the brownish orange.
Code 93. Am I allowed to say a really long word in German? I want to see if the text-to-speech can handle it.
Give it a shot. Just make sure it's not a naughty word, please. You're leaning towards green.
Code 93. No naughty words is the name of a law concerning beef.
Oh. I like both eyes. That's the problem. I do like the orangey brown and I do like the green. Sounds like we need to do a poll.
Ringfly steady run soft of Enneberback and super dragons cheeses.
Was that good? That was interesting. A very long word.
Code 93. That was not good, but I am impressed that it pushed through to the end.
It did. Yeah, it will. I'm kind of leaning with this color on this side. Because this side's mostly blue and gray. This side it does have...
It was too long even for us.
Oh wow. What'd they shorten it to?
Pokemon community game. A wild unknown appears cash it using code cash winners revealed in 90s.
Okay. There, I started the poll.
Cash.
Okay, what happened? There. Okay, it started the poll. So there's green, brown, or there's the all black. Any one of them would do good. Another unknown? Really? It looks different than the other ones.
I don't know. I am not actually that interested in beef law. I just like long words. Now that it's shorter, I lost all interest. Oh, cash premier ball.
Okay, while that is running, and we're deciding on eye color, I am going to, so there's the orange brown, I guess call it brown, green, or all black. I'm going to go ahead and grab red. Yeah, it's a different, every single one so far has been different. The other one looked like the letter N. This one looks like the letter Y. The other ones, the other two I have also look like letter Y's.
Unknown has been caught by Knitter Girl.
Congrats, Knitter Girl.
Welcome to Cave Fibers.
There. I'm going to go ahead and move on to knitting the comb while I wait for the eye color pull.
There is a full alphabet of unknowns.
Oh, there's a whole alphabet? Oh, wow. Well, I don't feel like collecting them all. Okay. Cast on 2. I just did a slip knot and a backwards loop for my cast on. And then have you knit them. This comb is very interesting to make. And like you said, you don't like the knit front and back, but that is what this uses. Knit front, knit back. You can also try to do a lifted increase if you would prefer, or just the backwards loop. You get the same result.
Toad 93. Do you have any finished chickens yet?
I have sold 3 already. There's 3 sitting right here. There's 3 sitting there. Those 3 are pretty much claimed. But this one's unclaimed, all blue. Well, the tail's kind of teal variegated, but mostly blue. There's this one here out of the ice cream yarn, so pink, blue, white, purple. That one's also available, and that one has the brown eyes. This one has silver eyes.
I just wanted to see how round they are. I had hoped they'd be very round. I was not disappointed.
And oops, this one here is
I love the ice cream one.
the one you love, the ice cream one. It is pretty. And then there's this one here made out of leftover worsted weight yarn. So this one's bigger. None of them are weighted, but if you want weighted, I can open up the seam here at the bottom and stick a weight in there.
I do love a rainbow colored one.
I can do another rainbow one. I have this one, but it's been claimed. This one's already claimed. It'll be going home on Thursday. I will see her on Thursday. So that one already has a home. But I do have another skein of this yarn. I can do another one just like that. And I have myself and another person that wants a black and white one. So I plan to do that. Maybe I'll see if I have DK weight black and white and just hold it together and do that.
I love that picture of you just now completely surrounded by chickens.
I'm just giving them all a little bit of lovin's. I have another one that's being done out of leftover yarn, so all kinds of colors.
Toad 93. The most supported person on the planet. So many support chickies.
Yeah. I started this one yesterday. I just need to do the neck, the head, the beak. So this one's not far behind this one. This is more of a DK weight. This one's bigger with worsted weight. So this one's the yarn the pattern calls for. They're not, well, there's a lot of counting, a lot of short rows. Oh, green is the final answer. Okay. We'll do the green eyes. No one wants black. No one wants the black eyes. Black eyes. Oops. Okay, y'all gotta fit in here somehow. Okay, maybe. There we go. I got it. Nailed it. Okay.
The black eyes end up looking very, very beady.
Do they?
93. I do love to make a plushie for 2 friends of mine, but in the colors of the trans pride flag, pink, white, and blue.
Oh, pink, white, and blue. This one has a bit of purple in it, though, too. The ice cream yarn one. Pink, white, blue. And then there's a touch of lavender purple, and then there's a darker purple and a darker pink. But I did put... It's hard to see, but that is a brown eye. It's not all black. Oh, there we go. It's not all black. That is a brown eye.
93. I voted for the black eyes. I like beady eyes.
This one here has a lot more of this blue jean blue color. This whole backside. Have a little bit of the purple green. That's actually purple, not blue. That's purple. And this is more of a pinkish red, more of a magenta kind of color. I don't know. The colors in this camera are weird. Doesn't catch all of the proper essence. I could take a picture of it so you can see. Okay, green eyes were the vote. So very cool. Yep, let's poke these eyes in. Thinking about center beak here. 2 rows in.
I want to get into knitting again, but I only know how to knit scarves and nothing else.
Aw, well you can, yeah, as long as you know how to knit and purl. That's mostly what this is. It's a lot of short rows, like right here. You just do part of a row, turn and go back. This is bind off, so you cast on. You go back across, and then you're doing short rows. You bind off some, you knit some, you wrap and turn and go back. You cast on more. It does a cable cast on, and then you do more short. It's mostly cast on, bind off, short rows. Let's see, knit front and back. There's slip knit, but I just, for the slip knit instead of slip knit, I usually just knit 2 together through the back loop. It's fine. It's not going to matter in this piece. And then there's also knit 2 together. But yeah, if you can learn those, maybe this would be a good learning experience to give it a try. Let's see. About center, we want a couple rows back. About here. Let's flatten it this way. I think that looks about even with the front top hump. What do you think? I think it's good. That angle looks good. It almost looks like an eagle. Okay, I'm gonna push these on.
Sunny Stitcher 1989. It's also a fairly forgiving pattern for if mistakes are made, but they have a full walkthrough on how to do the shaping and seaming bits as well on YouTube to help you get through the patterns.
Yes, they do. Push on. And then my trick with the safety eyes is to burn them. So I make sure there's no yarn hanging out in the way or nothing.
Have you got a link?
There's a link to the pattern, and within the pattern should be a link to the YouTube. Yeah, there's links inside of the pattern. If you do !chicken, it'll come up. So I'm just doing my trick of melting the back of the eye. If it catches fire, that's fine. Let it burn for a little bit. And then I'm going to use the metal side of my lighter, and I'm just going to push on it, and that makes this side flat. So even if they push this side off, it's not going to go anywhere. There you go. It's fine, you just got to be careful when it comes to the fire. There you go. So a lighter, not too bad. I can put my finger on it and not get burnt. It's the thing with plastics like that, they do cool pretty fast. All right. I already have the needle on that yarn, but that's okay. I need to finish this comb. Okay, and then I'm going to bind off 2. So knit, knit, pass over, knit, pass over, knit the last one. It's down to 2 stitches, it's correct. Next row, you're just going to knit those 2. That's the beautiful part of the emotional sport chickens. It's mostly all knit. The only time you purl is the 3 rows on the beak. That's it. Everything else is just all knit and all short rows. Okay, next row they want you to cast on one. I'm just do the back loop cast on. Got an itch, didn't want to go away. Excuse me, and then you just knit those. The front and the back. Knit.
Mirror stepper. It's my first project and I've learned a lot.
Wow, that's cool. As long as you take it step by step and take your time with it, there's no reason why you couldn't make it. And I'm just going to repeat those rows. Cast on 1, knit the 3. When I'm doing the comb, instead of counting and recounting all the rows, I figured if I had 5 points, I'm good to go. Right now I have 3, so you need to do at least 2 more repeats.
Oh, I wonder if there are easy shark patterns. My friends love those IKEA shark plus
Ooh.
Crochet pilot. Hi, I started selling crochet stuff. If anyone could please check it out. It's https://www.btscom/shop-crotchets.
Please block that person. I don't allow you to advertise like that, especially new here. No. Not allowed. Not at all allowed. That goes against Twitch standards too.
Crochet pilot. OMG, I'm sorry. Mimi Toad 93. That is rude.
I won't report you, but I am blocking you. I'm sorry. My streams are not for you to advertise your own stuff. Especially for a first-time chatter. Sorry guys, sorry.
Pokemon community. Corgis escaped, no one caught it.
I could report the person, but I'm not going to. I'm going to be nice and not report them. Aw. Thank you, Pink Gamer Girl. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the last one, so I just bind off all of them. and we'll leave a length for sewing. Don't need to leave a super long length, but a little bit of a length. There we go. I know I've already put the yarn onto, or the needle onto that yarn. I'm going to take it off so I can put the comb on. And set things aside here. So since I have this, it's just easier for me to face it this way.